Yes, everyone. Stephen Howson, Rio Ferdinand. There's someone missing.
Yep. He's got
It's
his
not the
tail
first time as
between
an Arsenal fan been missing
his
today.
tail is
Saliba's missing as
between-
well. If anyone sees him, please
his
return
tail
him
is
back to the
between his
Emirates.
legs. Steve's tail's between his legs. He's stuck at Old Trafford somewhere. Why ain't you there, by the way?
I can't stand up.
Why?
I did Paris 10 yesterday, and it's absolutely ended me. And unlike the Emirates, where I might be able to sit down and enjoy the football, at United I have to stand up in the Stretford end. So I've let my lad go instead.
Anyway, let's get into it right now.
Spam the comments with Joe L, please.
Yeah, we need
Joe L in the comments.
Yeah, agreed. Listen, man, Old Trafford, it wasn't the best performance. I have to say, Arsenal were the better footballing team on the day. You have to say that. After the first 10, 15 minutes of the game where United, you were texting in the group saying, oh, we look like we're in control. I totally agreed. But after that point, they were the most dangerous team. They were the team that controlled most parts of the game. And we looked like a team that was just like sitting there thinking, okay, we'll just stick in here, stay in. But Man United of old would have folded at that point. That's the element that I'm really liking about this United team at the moment. They go through phases in the game where they're on the back foot, but they roll their sleeves up and they don't roll over. And they stay in it, and they know they've got players who can actually be decisive at the other end and who are now gaining confidence. Marcus Rashford today, an assist and 2 goals. And Marcus Rashford, who's still searching for the supreme confidence that he came onto under the spotlight with. He isn't.
That's going to help that today.
Right now. Huh?
Getting 2 goals and an assist is going to help with that, I think, today.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what the catalyst for that, right, is he's gone back to basics. And that's what we've been asking for. He's gone back to basics. What he's done is he's chasing down, you chase pigeons the way he runs around. He's chasing balls into the goalkeeper, lost causes. And things like that remind me and take me back a little bit to Carlos Tevez. He was like the player who got the fans off their seat for things like that, got the crowd going, generated an atmosphere, made the other players on the team think, right, we got to go as well. And if he can keep that in his game, the other elements that he has, the quality, the ability to run behind teams and scare teams and then finish or put chances on a play for others, they then come. But you have to do that hard stuff first, the stuff that you probably don't feel like you're getting rewarded for first. And then the reward comes later. So I'm delighted for Marcus. I'm so happy. And how can we talk about, and we started this without even talking about Antony, the new signing, comes in and bangs in. Yeah, you put them shades on right now. Put them shades on right now. Keep them on, right? Antony coming in, massive signing. He couldn't have asked for a better start with a goal.
Yeah, I thought he come in, he looked bright. He had that little chop that he did in between the 2 Arsenal defenders where Delos whipped it in. If Eriksen connects with that, just go home. I'd literally just walk off the pitch if that had gone in from there. But like, anyway, that was me. See you in a bit. Yeah, I thought he looked really bright. Giving him just an hour, I thought was a good idea, really, from Ten Hag. And I think if you look at the way the game went from both managers, Ten Hag won this 1-0. There was a time we started, and like you said at the start, we started really, really brightly, and I was purring at some of the patterns and some of the one-touch play and some of the confidence from United. And then Arsenal had that bullshit, bogus goal that they scored, and I think it rattled us. And I think that's where you know that this United confidence isn't built on solid foundations yet. We can still be rattled. And I think from that moment, Arsenal took a little bit of something in the game, like, oh, we can actually hurt these here. They grew in confidence, and they put us under pressure for a little bit. But we weathered it. We start the second half. They've created chances, but they've not really opened us up, carved us up. And I think that because they didn't do that, there was always going to be a chance. And for all Joel's talking about the best 21-year-old centre-back the Premier League has ever seen in Saliba, mate, I don't even know if he's as good as Jonathan Woodgate. Like, the guy's out here getting absolutely turned inside out. I mean, I can't really have this full discussion with you on air because people are just going to be like, are you actually trying to argue with Rio about defending? But yeah, I do sometimes. I have an opinion. But I thought Saliba was far too off on the first goal with his distances. Please give us the benefit of your experience and why you disagree.
No, I think the way that the phase of play played out, they lost the ball, and then we started obviously attacking, and the ball got played forward. Gabriel jumps out. That's the first mistake. He comes out and goes to ground, which leaves them all at sea at the back. They're all over the place. And then Rashford is then on for a pass into him, I think from Bruno, I think it is. But the ball comes into him. I don't think that Saliba can afford to go too tight initially with Rashford, because it's hard to know where he's at. And if he gets too tight, he opens up space for then Rashford to run into. Where he was is that his position looks like, if you freeze frame it, his position looks like he's too far off him. The ball comes into Rashford, but then by the time he receives the ball and faces Saliba up, as a defender, Saliba's standing there going, well, he's got to beat me and score. So he couldn't have done, rather than him running onto something and he's got the goalkeeper's beat, he's got to beat me, then beat the keeper to score. So I think he's in a decent position. The biggest mistake for me personally was that Zinchenko doesn't come in and get the ball and clamp Rashford. If he's going to come all the way in, he has to win the ball. Whereas
or even foul him, maybe. That was better than what he did.
Yeah, I would have preferred the left back to say to me, like, if he beats you, I'll be there to cover you. But I'm not going to go there and make the mind up of the forward and be so close that he just got to pop it around me and they score. So if I was Saliba, I'd have been more upset. I would have been happy with what I'd done if I was Saliba. I'd have been upset with what Zinchenko done after that.
Speaking of centre half, this is actually Joel's just turned up. Here he is.
Joe, that was at 1-1. Yeah, he sent a picture in the group going like that when it was 1-1 because we were hammering Arsenal, right? And then he said that, and then that's just. I can't wait to see him tomorrow. Seriously, guys.
What cake are we eating, by the way? We are having cake and sunglasses, right?
Make sure you are ready for tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be a lively vibe with 5. Trust me.
On the goal we actually conceded, I got to give some props to Gabriel Jesus, because I've hammered him, right? And I'm big enough to say he was brilliant today. He absolutely carved us to pieces. You was using the word bullying. I don't know about bullying, but he was everywhere, and everything he was doing looked like it was quality as well. He really put us through the ringer. Yeah,
he was a nuisance, and I'll never forget. John Stone said to me, "Read it." I asked him about Jesus when he had been there a few months, and he said, "Rio, he's a really good player. He'll score goals, but I can't believe how strong he is." And like, he's one of those guys, a bit like Patrice Evra. They look small in stature, but they're absolutely like little beasts. And he looks like that. He was ragdolling Varane at times. Same with first minute of the game. Martinez knew he was in the game straight away because he rattled him in the first half to the right hand side of the box. But then he never actually got away and got a real clear cut chance at goal. He done everything around the box and around the penalty area without really carving us open and getting a chance of his own. But I thought he was really good up to the end product area. Odegaard's pass for the goal was tremendous. Bang off his left and then slotted it with his right foot through. And it was a great finish in the end from Saka. But I thought our 2 fullbacks in the end got to grips with the 2 wide players. I thought we had Martinelli earlier, especially the first half. Martinelli was really good. Dalot grew back into the game and ended up dealing with him. Saka, I thought for most of the game, he was a thorn in Malacia's side, and that was a good test for him. I think Malacia needed that. Up to that point, he had never really had someone 1v1 go at him and show him what the Premier League's about. Saka did. Saka showed he's a top player, to be fair. But again, they stayed in the fight. You could look at the 2 fullbacks and go, if it was a boxing match, they got hit, they got stunned a couple of times, but they stayed in, weathered the storm, and got through the 12 rounds and came out victorious. And that's what you need. You need those players to ride the waves at times. There's going to be times in the game where it doesn't go for you. You make a mistake, but you can't fold. And too many times in recent times, players in this team have folded under that pressure, and it has like an accumulative effect on the whole team, and they all fold. But it's real good. That's 4 wins on the bounce now.
And we've had to grind them out as well. We've not looked perfect for 90 minutes. And I keep saying that I really enjoy winning 1-0 because you've had to fight for a 1-0 win. You don't usually get a 1-0 win easy. And obviously going into half time today at that score, you kind of like, we've had to fight for this here. It's not been easy. We've been rattled a little bit, and I think we've been good for being 1-0 up. This defense is getting a lot of plaudits.
Steve, sorry, before you go into that, can I just give a special shout out, please, to my man of the match, Christian Eriksen. I have to hold my hand up, and I was one of them who was a bit sceptical about the signing. But it's another signing, I'm sure, from Erik Ten Hag. It was his decision to take him. And at the moment, you cannot argue with this decision that he's made, because in the game today, he's passing listen, he may not have assisted every one of the goals, but he's passing for 2 of the goals. One of the goals, Rashford's pass, the first one when he wrapped it with the eyes, took out about 5 players of the Arsenal team. Great ball. The other one where he plays it forward into Bruno, and Bruno outside of the foot puts it in for Rashford, and obviously the assist. His forward passing is up there with the best in the league at the moment. He's tremendous, and he has been. Again, I was somebody who was a bit sceptical. What's he going to bring? Is he going to start? Well, yes, he's starting, and yes, he's producing. So, Eriksen, I salute you.
Yeah, he's looked absolutely phenomenal. My worry is when he has to come out of the team because we are running him into the ground, it feels like at the moment. And considering the condition that he's playing with and the fact he's playing with a pacemaker, the guy's covering like the most distance in our games as well, which is absolute testament to the guy. I wanted to ask you about the defence. It's getting a lot of plaudits, United's defence at the moment. There's a lot of people comparing Varane and Martinez to yourself and Vida. Where do you think they stack up? What's the qualities and maybe what's the weaknesses that they've got as a pairing?
I think they've got that. You know what I like about them? Their styles complement each other. Varane wants to sit off a bit. He wants to be the one that does sweep up. He wants to be the one that comes behind and just make sure everything's all right, like the security behind things. Once you miss that first contact, if you miss the first contact, Martinez wants to be aggressive. He wants to be on the front foot. He wants to get in and needle people and get in the back of forwards. So I think it's a very, very good combination in that sense. And what I love about it more than anything as well is that there seems to be a them and us. It's we're the back 4, and the rest of them are doing what they're doing. We're gonna keep clean sheets. We're gonna be aggressive. We're gonna champion each challenge. We're gonna shout and champion each run into the channel and clearance. And that's what they're doing. And they're building that culture. They're building that camaraderie, togetherness that they've got now. It seems that they're building it. That goes a long way, because when you know you've got someone behind you who's going to back you up constantly. I see in the game today, Martinez got turned by, I think, Jesus. He comes back. He's running back at him. He doesn't give up. Malacia comes alongside him, slows him down, and then Martinez makes a challenge. All those little details there are builders for confidence and for that, you know what, I can count on you. Because in the game, it happens. And I used to say this, and Vidi used to say to me, listen, if you get beat, just remember, I will be there. I say to Gary Neville or Wes Brown, if you get beat, I'm behind you. And if I'm not behind you, then you can have a go at me. But I will be there. You just go tight, get your man, nail him. And if he gets beyond you, I'm there. And then that's the way you've got to be. You've got to treat it like this is us. And it was like, you treat it like we keep a clean sheet. Them boys in front of us are good enough to go and win your games. Simple as that. You make it as easy as that, you have a chance to stay in games, and they're putting their bodies on the line. And listen, I'm not getting carried away like I have done in the past. We haven't played well yet, really, under Ten Hag. We've not really played well. The first 15 minutes today, we played well. But other than that, we've just hung in games and we've been clinical and we've scored our chances at good times. And today was very similar, but it's building blocks, like you said earlier, and its foundations are being put in place now, and I'm really liking what I'm seeing.
On Martinez, I really like his line-breaking passing. I like how quickly he goes forward. I think he starts a lot of attacks, surprises a lot of opposition by getting it into the feet of either Bruno or whoever's up front, and I think that's helping United. I think previously I thought United took far too long in the build-up. It was so methodical, it was so obvious, it was so predictable, whereas now, a little bit of a combination of the fact that we've got threats on both wings. I think that's a massive plus, and that's something that Ten Hag's managed to do. We've got a bit of balance and a bit of talent on each flank, so it means that we have to stretch the opposition defence out. But I just like that little bit of unpredictability that Martinez gets. He's not just going to pass it to the left back every single time he gets it. Sometimes he might give it to the 6. Sometimes he might go right the way through and hit the line of the forward. And I think that's been helping United go from back to front a lot quicker. But like you said,
go on. No, I totally agree with you, and I think that's an element that I think would have surprised a lot of people, how comfortable he's on the ball. I talk to a lot of people at the club right now, and when you talk about him and the aggressiveness and the tenaciousness all comes out, but they say, you know what, he's really good on the ball, by the way, like top level on the ball. He'll take it under pressure, but then he can pass it clean as well through the lines, which is great, and which is what you need in a team that wants to be progressive. But I think, again, I have to go. McTominay, I thought, was very good today as well, made good fouls at good times, kept it, gave it to the people that can play forward. And I think that's what he's got to bring to his game and really understand more about what he's there for. He's good at doing that. He's good at running off the ball as well. He can bring probably more of that to his game, but he's being disciplined, and I like that. But what I would say as well, what another thing that Eriksen's brought to the team is his ability. When we're under pressure or we just win the ball, he passes forward, and that's the area that McTominay and Fred are probably weakest at. That he can play with his back to goal or side on, and get the ball, and it just comes to him out of nowhere, fizzes into him, and he can play forward. And that's what you used to get with a Carrick or Scholes like that. I'm not saying he's at their level, but his passing forward is something very much different to what we've been used to in the last couple of seasons with the personnel we've had there. And I think that's given us the chances sometimes in changing defence to attack much more efficiently.
I don't want to cover every base before we get to roast Joel tomorrow, obviously. But make sure you tune in for Vibe with 5 tomorrow, because
it's going to be good.
There's going to be sunglasses, there's going to be cake, and there's going to be tears, and they're probably not going to be ours. All right. But I do want to touch on Antony a little bit. Massive investment in his transfer. Huge gamble with the money involved. I'm eased a little bit by the fact that it's his old manager that's bringing him in. If this was just a random signing from the Eredivisie, I would be a little bit more concerned. But the fact that I feel like every decision Ten Hag's had to make, including the likes of benching Ronaldo and Maguire, he's handled them brilliantly. I think he's really stuck to his guns on those things and stuck to his principles, and I think it's paying off for him. So him being so determined to bring Antony in relaxes me a little bit. Obviously, he started well today, and getting a goal would have shut up a lot of potential doubters anyway. But aside from the goal, how good do you think he was, and what sort of impact do you think he could have this season?
Honestly, other than the goal, I don't think we saw anything like what we're going to see at his full potential. I thought in terms of a defensive shape, I thought he was very, very good. I thought he looked like he understands what's needed in an Erik Ten Hag structure. He pressed when he needed to, but I still think there'll be more to come from him physically as well, because I think he'll be behind a little bit physically, and he's got to get up to speed. He showed glimpses with the ball of what his intentions will be to excite and to hurt teams. But I think he'll do more damage in terms of with the ball and getting in the final third and being more decisive and more creative in other games. I think today wasn't a game for that. I think he got exactly what he would have wanted to get out of this game, and that's a goal. To start a game as an attacking player with a goal, you cannot ask for anything else. You saw what I loved about him as well, which a few of my mates pointed to in a couple of the groups that I've got on WhatsApp, is the way he celebrated. The way he celebrated, it wasn't one of those calm ones, I'm too cool for school. It was he has got that fire in his belly, that hunger, that he wants to do it. He knows what it means. He grabbed the badge immediately. And these little things that some people go, they only celebrate. No, man. As a fan, that's what you want to see. As someone who, if you're playing, you want to see that madness in your teammates, that they absolutely love scoring. And me, I was one of them guys that just ran up the pitch every time we scored, and I was first there to celebrate. So I know that feeling. So it was great to see that. But listen, he'll have better performances. You just hope he continues in terms of goals.
Right, and on that note, we're going to wrap it up, but we'll be back tomorrow with sunglasses and cake and Joel. So cheers. Make sure to subscribe.
Tell family, tell who you want to come on tomorrow if you want to see some Joel bashing. He's going to get smashed. Seriously, he's been talking so big in the groups. Yeah, we've got screenshots. We've got the lot. Anyway, I see. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Take care.
See you in a bit.
That's enough.